what there is, and this is very clear that's in Shangri-La, there's a change in the global position. And that's thanks to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And what that has done, what the Russian invasion of Ukraine has done, is it's exposed the confusion on the Chinese side. It's China that's confused, not the United States. The United States is very clear. It's China that's confused. China says, oh, we're all about protecting sovereignty of countries. And what does China do? It supports the most blatant, aggressive attack on sovereignty, the Russian invasion of Ukraine. This is a sovereign country, a member of the United Nations. Blatant aggression condemned by the UN General Assembly and not condemned by China. China refuses to condemn the invasion, refuses to call it an invasion, and at the same time claims this sovereignty over Taiwan. The confusion is on China's part. And that's what the invasion of Ukraine has exposed. China wants to have it both ways. It wants to say, oh, we're a sovereign nation. You don't examine anything we do on Taiwan, on Xinjiang, on Hong Kong. You don't have any right to look at our abuse of human rights, of 1 million Uyghurs in refugee camps, because we're a sovereign country and sovereignty is everything. And in turn, at the same time, China backs this brutal assault on sovereignty condemned by most of the countries in the world. Please.
Okay, having in mind all that you've said, Mr. Edward, finally I'll ask you this. Will these efforts by world powers and groupings including AUKUS and Quad to counter China's expansion and influence in the region eventually work? Or are they making an isolated China more stronger and assertive?
It will work, and China is not isolated. Edward Joseph and everyone else knows that China is not isolated. China can trade and does trade with all of these countries. But what we heard from the Japanese Prime Minister is that Japan, along with the United States and along with its Quad partners, will not tolerate this growing aggression by China in the region. China, there's no such isolation of China. That's complete misnomer. China is welcome and free to communicate and trade and interact around the region and has strong trading relationships even with Taiwan, even with South Korea, even with Japan. So the notion of China being isolated is not at all appropriate, and that word should not even be used. The question is that China's own brutal, its own efforts at what Secretary Austin called aggression and bullying of the same type that we see by Russia in Ukraine. It's very simple for your viewers, Eric. It's about whether the world supports the rights of sovereign nations to decide their course or whether it supports aggression and bullying from more powerful neighbors. Very clear. Please.